Have you ever looked at another Airbnb and thought, how much are they charging for this? Meanwhile, your property is nicer, you're in a better location, you have better amenities, yet somehow theirs looks and feels expensive online, and yours doesn't. Here's the truth. Most guests decide how valuable your Airbnb is within seconds. Before they read the description, before they even check the amenities, and before they even look up the nightly rate, they decide if your property is nice or not that nice. And they decide this from the media, from the feeling that they get when they are looking at your photos on your listing page. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your listing feel more expensive by doing a couple of simple things, so you can get more bookings without racing to the bottom on price and finally charge what you deserve. Really quick, my name is Scott Quinnell. I'm the owner of a direct booking marketing agency for Airbnbs and hotels. This is literally the thing I do for a living. And on this channel, I share marketing tips that anybody can use to get more bookings for their Airbnb or hotel on their own, without the use of OTAs. When I first started working with short-term rentals, I thought the best, most luxurious properties would naturally make the most money. Turns out that's kind of not really how it works at all. Some of the highest earning stays I've worked with weren't necessarily the nicest, but they felt the nicest online. And honestly, that confused me at first. I'd see this absolutely beautiful property charging $250 a night, and then I'd see another one right next door charging $700. And I'd say, there's no way the difference is that large for places so close to each other. But then I'd look closer. The more expensive property had warm lighting, people laughing around a fire, wine being poured, a slow motion coffee shop, a dog sleeping by the fireplace, and the entire listing felt like a carousel movie trailer. Meanwhile, the cheaper property kind of felt like a Zillow listing. The cheaper listing wasn't actually worse, it just felt worse at face value. And that's when I realized something important. People don't book the best Airbnb, they book the Airbnb that feels valuable, that feels like it will be an important part of their vacation. In 2026, Airbnb and hotel marketing isn't necessarily about the lodging business. It's about the media business, and the media business is about the perception business, how to make your thing seem more and more valuable to the customer, or in our case, the guest. That's why you're not getting any bookings from social media if all you're doing is posting blurry photos of your bar stool on Instagram. So far, our biggest success with clients have come from treating them like a media company rather than a lodging business. That sounds dramatic, but it's true, because the internet doesn't reward the best properties. It rewards the properties that create the strongest emotional reaction from business to customer. Think about luxury hotels or even premium coffee shops. Half the value comes from how they make you feel before you buy. That's why premium Airbnbs don't just show rooms, they sell identity. They sell peace, status, connection, and an escape. And once I realized that, I started seeing listings completely different. I stopped asking, how do we fill more nights? And started asking, how do we become unforgettable so that we can charge what we deserve? That question changes everything, and that's what I'm going to dive in for the rest of this video. But first, here's why most Airbnbs feel cheap online. Most Airbnbs accidentally market themselves like apartments for rent. Wide empty room shots, bright overhead lighting, photos of appliances, close-ups of sinks. It feels sterile and cold and transactional, and honestly that you're just there to be there. You didn't put any effort into the listing photo. The problem with this is guests emotionally judge the experience based on the content. If the content feels cheap, they will think your stay is cheap, even if the property is completely amazing and spotless in real life. This is why two nearly identical properties can charge wildly different prices. One creates emotion, and other is just there to be there. In order to be perceived as expensive online, you need to stop making HGTV content. And I'm gonna explain what this means. This is the biggest shift. You're not filming a house. You're not showing the kitchen and the shower tiles and the bathrooms. You're showing an experience. You're showing people living the perfect vacation life in your media. That means show people cooking breakfast, having wine on the deck, campfires at night, rain hitting the windows, kids running through the yard, and morning coffee in bed. Your goal should be to help guests imagine themselves there, because humans emotionally connect to other humans, not countertops or shower tiles or the features on your microwave. Nobody has ever booked an Airbnb because they're just like, wow, what an incredible toaster. The best Airbnb media feels alive. That's what premium looks like. Okay, now that we've talked through the problem with most Airbnb listings and what not to shoot, I'm going to tell you what to shoot. Here's something funny about humans. When something looks expensive, we assume it's valuable. This happens everywhere. Restaurants, hotels, cars, watches, Airbnbs. That's why premium properties focus heavily on the lighting and the color tones and the music and the editing style and the storytelling and the mood. The goal is not to fake luxury. Don't falsely perceive people. The goal is to communicate value emotionally. And here's the important part. Premium doesn't always mean modern luxury. A rustic cabin can feel premium. A tiny house can feel premium. A beachside house can feel premium. A camping site can feel premium. Premium just means this experience feels unique and intentional, and most importantly, this experience feels like the owner of the place wants me there, wants me to enjoy their property. So what do you do after you've upgraded your content and made your stay feel more premium? Well, you want to build demand. You want to show a lot of people your Airbnb and hotel. The most expensive Airbnbs rarely feel desperate for bookings. They feel desired, they feel scarce. And that's important psychologically because guests value things other people value. That's why audience building matters so much. Followers matter, email lists matter, social proof matters. And if your stay feels popular to a scroller or somebody on the internet, people remember it longer. They worry about missing out and they book faster. But social media isn't enough because email is where the bookings happen. Social creates attention and email builds trust. Together, that's where the momentum starts. So for you, once your stay feels premium, build an audience on social media, drive them to your website, and let them opt in for your email list. Because email is going to be where people get to know you. Now, once you've built demand and people are going to your website, signing up for your email list because you feel premium and scarce and popular, it's time to increase the rates so you can charge what you finally deserve. Most operators here get too aggressive. They improve content, get excited, and boost their rates by 30%. Then they panic when bookings slow down. I don't want you to do that, so instead use occupancy as your signal. If the next 60 to 90 days are more booked than not, raise the remaining nights by 5%. Then repeat. Do small increases over time. This allows the market to slowly accept your new positioning rather than actually kind of start to hate you, because they know that you're popular and you're going to rinse them. So how do you charge more for your Airbnb or hotel? Get better media, build demand, and let that demand become strong and passionate about your Airbnb or hotel, and then gradually increase your pricing 5% at a time. If your Airbnb isn't getting the bookings or pricing that you want, it might not be your property. It might just be your presentation. Most operators are sitting on experiences worth more money than what they're actually getting. So start there. Tell better stories, look more expensive, create better visuals, show humans living the experience, and make your property feel like something worth remembering. If you want more help with the content marketing and audience building and just how to get direct bookings, I've linked the newsletter, our newsletter, below in the caption. It's where the best content is. It's got more visuals and it's written really well because I write it and I'm biased towards how it's written, and I think it's great. It's totally free. Go below, sign up. There's a new article every Thursday and Sunday. And if this video helped how you think differently about your Airbnb, subscribe. I've got a lot more videos coming on how boutique stays are winning right now, and YouTube is kind of the thing I'm investing in lately. So these videos will get better, more in depth, but I need you to subscribe so I know what videos to make more of. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.